Hello, my lovely friends. My name is Ava, and here are some amnesia romance recommendations. I actually have quite a few to recommend today, and I surprisingly actually own a lot of them as well. So let's get into these 10 books with amnesia. If you don't know about the amnesia trope, basically one of the characters in the couple gets amnesia, right? They forget their memory for whatever reason. Most of the time it's about these two people falling back in love after that person has had amnesia. Sometimes it's not though. Sometimes it's not. Okay, that's not every single book, but that's for most of these cases in amnesia romances. So I feel like if you like second chance romances, you'd like the amnesia trope. But yeah, let's get into these 10 amnesia romances. This is the first time I'm doing a rec video with this trope. The first one that I would love to recommend is a Mafia romance. This is Ruined Secrets by Neva Altaj. This is technically book number 4 in this Mafia romance series. However, you can read them as standalones. Like, this one has nothing to do with the previous books in the series, like, at all. These two characters end up getting put in an arranged marriage due to this heroine's grandfather, who is a mafia boss in their family. The hero is kind of like his right-hand man, and he's like 30 something, and she, ever since she was a little girl, has had a crush on him. She was like 18. So before her grandfather passes, his like one dying wish is to have the two of them get married. They have to, of course, agree. The heroine is really excited because she's always had a crush on this guy. Ever since when she was a little girl, she fell into a swimming pool and he saved her life, and she's basically been in love with him ever since. But he has been married. He was married, but he recently got divorced because he found out his wife was cheating on him. Since he's now divorced and not with anyone, her grandfather's like, hey, I want you to marry my granddaughter so you have like blood ties to becoming my heir. The hero is not very happy about this because he thinks he's marrying a child. She's 18. He's like, I should feel disgusting right now that I am attracted to this 18-year-old. I am. So I'm just going to keep her at a distance. So their marriage isn't the best at first. And then he gets in a car accident and actually gets amnesia for the past couple of years, I want to say. No, I think he like forgets everything except like basic knowledge, you know what I mean? And so the heroine's like, yeah, we're married. And she basically lies to him and tells him, yeah, we're happily married, because she wants that life. But she is getting like really like sad when the hero starts remembering certain things about his life. And she's like, dang, this is gonna be over soon. I might as well just say bye now. So sorry, y'all, I put her toy up there. I'm gonna throw it in a second. I'm gonna throw it in between me holding up books. So but anyway, this is a great Mafia book. It's one of my favorite amnesia romances. If you want another dark one, I have Breaking Haley by I.A. Dice. This is actually a duet, so if you want like this couple's like continuation to their story, like the finale, the conclusion, you gotta read the duet. This one is darker. The hero learns from his father, who is a very powerful mafia boss man, like, hey, your sister is dead and this woman named Haley and this other guy is responsible. Thankfully that other guy is dead, but turns out Haley got amnesia and she's now, whoa, you're stepping on my computer, baby. Anyway, so she has amnesia now and she got in a car accident. Girl, if I don't put it up, you're just gonna squeak it. Anyway, so the hero plans to go to the kind of like reform college that Haley has been sent to in order to break her, essentially, because she wants revenge for what she did to his sister, but she doesn't remember anything. She doesn't know what's going on. So yeah, that one's good, but it's also dark, so please be aware of that. Next, I have A 5-Minute Life by Emma Scott, and this one is really interesting when it comes to amnesia plotline. So this mainly follows our hero. We're mainly in the hero's point of view in this book, just because I think in this case that it would be very complicated to have a heroine's point of view. It starts out with our hero getting a new job in a new town he's never been to before, and it's actually at a sanitarium. So it's people going through some mental health struggles and other health-related problems, and he is basically gonna be like the janitor of it while he's waiting for like his, I don't know, like entrance interview, or to be like handed the keys or whatever the case may be to start his first day. He ends up chatting to this very lovely, gorgeous, smart woman in the lobby. They're admiring and painting together in the lobby of the sanitarium. One of the doctors walks by, he's like, oh, you found one of the patients, thank you. And he's like, what? And the heroine was the woman he was talking to, and she is a patient. She got in a car accident. You'll read about it in the beginning of this book, but she got in a car accident with her family. She's the only survivor, but she can only remember 5 minutes of her life, and then her life is like, her brain is like reset to like the day before the car accident happened. So I think it's been 2 years since the car accident, I believe, and the hero has decided to like distance himself from her because he's like, I cannot be attracted to a patient. Like, that is so incredibly wrong. That cannot be happening. But then he slowly starts to like watch her and realize, like, I think she might be trying to communicate with us in a different way, and that's all I'll leave you with. But man, this one is really unique. I really loved it. Emma Scott can kick you in the feels for sure. I have Magical Meet Cute by Jean Meltzer. Please beware for a trigger warning for this one for anti-Semitism, like throughout the whole entire book. The heroine lives in this Jewish community, and they're doing horrible, heinous things to all of the businesses in the community, and it's awful. So if you are triggered by that, please, I don't really recommend picking this one up because that is a heavy plot line in here, because the heroine and the hero are trying to figure out who are doing these anti-Semitic like terrorist acts essentially in this neighborhood. But the heroine at the beginning of this book, she is a pottery maker. Is that the right terminology, I guess? Someone who does pottery. She owns a pottery business in this Jewish community, and she gets drunk one night and decides to make a golem, which is like a clay man creature. Hello. She's a Jew witch, so it's like a Jewish witch. That's what she calls herself. And so she makes this spell and buries the golem in the backyard. And she kind of forgets, because she was drunk, like blackout drunk, forgets that happened. But then the next day she ends up, I think, hitting a man with her bicycle. And that's our hero. And he gets amnesia from it. He doesn't remember anything at all. Like, she takes him to the hospital, and then he doesn't know where he's from or his life at all. So she brings him back home with him because she feels very... Is Woody okay? She's fine. She's fine. Because she feels very responsible for what happened because she hit him with her bicycle. So, yeah. And then she's realizing, wait, is this the golem that I made? Because they look very similar. Like, it's really funny. But there are those anti-Semitic moments in there, so please be aware of that before going in. Okay, we have some historical romances. Both of them are by Lisa Kleypas. So I guess Lisa Kleypas likes to write the amnesia trope. We have these two by Lisa Kleypas. So we have Someone to Watch Over Me and Devil in Disguise. Winnie, girl, you were squeaking it too much. Anyway, so Someone to Watch Over Me, this step back I cannot get enough of. I got it at Half Price Books and I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. This is stunning. Even though this is not my favorite book ever, the amnesia part of it was very unique to me. So our hero is, I think, like a Bow Street runner, which is like a detective essentially in this historical time period. Anyway, he ends up helping fish this woman out of the river, and turns out it's a woman he has some history with who like rejected him, and he's not very happy about it. He hasn't really been, because he's very attracted to her, but she's a very known courtesan, and she basically makes her living off of that. When she gets pulled out of the river, she remembers absolutely nothing, and she's like shocked that this was her past life. Like, the hero tells her who she is, what she used to do, and she's like, that doesn't feel like me. Like, what is going on? So, yeah, that's all I really want to say. But if you're wanting a historical, I definitely recommend this one. And then I also have Devil in Disguise, which is technically the last book in the Ravenel series. It's kind of like second generation also to the Wallflowers. So I do recommend reading the Ravenels and the Wallflowers before you get to this one. This one's about Lady Merritt, who is the daughter to one of the couples from the Wallflower series by Lisa Kleypas. She runs a shipping company, okay, and it's her romance with, what's his name again? Keir McRae. I don't want to spoil much, but one of them may or may not get amnesia. This is a whirlwind romance at first, and then amnesia does come into play. So I'll just say that because I don't want to spoil it for you. And then one I want to quickly mention, I can't really talk about all that much because it's the third book in a series. It's Heart Song by TJ Klune. This is a Wolf Shifter MM romance, and there is amnesia involved in this. And I don't want to talk about it. Like, you have to read these books in order. This series you do, these are paranormal, small town, werewolf shifter, MM romances that are so good. They're so feel good as well. Like, I can't help but smile when I read these books. I do still need to continue and read the last book, but amnesia is in this one. So if you're wanting a paranormal one, I recommend this. And lastly, let's close out with 3 Ruby books, shall we? Actually, this one just got a new cover, which I am obsessed with. Okay, so Barbarian's Heart by Ruby Dixon was probably my first ever amnesia romance book that I read back when this was first published, or around the time this was first published. These two characters, Stacy and I think his name is Pashoff. Yes, it's Pashoff. Yes, it's Pashoff. Okay. There's so many characters in this freaking series. I don't want to spoil much because, like, if you're wanting to read the series, I don't want to spoil it. Sorry, yeah, her toy is still up there. There is an accident that happens in the series, and because of that accident, Pashoff gets amnesia. And Pashoff and Stacy resonated the first day that they met when the spaceship crashed on this planet and they met for the first time. They were one of the first people to resonate and figure out that they're mates. But then because of this accident, Pashoff remembers nothing, I think, for the past few years, including his mate and his baby. He's got a baby. They have a baby named Pacey. And so a lot of this is about Stacy like not really knowing what to do because her husband doesn't remember her. Like, what is she going to do? So I absolutely freaking love this book. It's one of my favorites in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I am obsessed with the new cover as well. It is absolutely stunning and I need to get it for my collection soon. And I think it just dropped like a few days ago. So, and then the second spin-off to Ice Planet Barbarians. So you have Ice Planet Barbarians, which Stacy's book was a part of that. And then you have Ice Home. And then we have Ice Planet Clones, which is like the second spin-off to Ice Planet Barbarians. This does take place on the Ice Planet as well, but with new characters. This series is interesting because each book is about a clone of a human woman. So not someone who's actually abducted from Earth. They might think that because they've gotten the past memories of some of the past memories of the person they are cloned from, but they themselves as beings were not taken from Earth. So our heroine in here, she doesn't even know her name. So the amnesia trope, like she's not getting her memories back. Just by the way, that's not a thing in this book. I'm just letting you know, because she is a clone of who this original person was, and she will never fully get those memories back, like ever. Our hero in here, he is one of the other alien creatures that's not a Sakui, so not native to the planet, the ice planet. He was also a clone, I'm pretty sure. And he figures out that our heroine here is his mate. Like, resonance starts happening, and he's like one of those like showboat, show off, peacock type of guys. She's like, no, I just want to be left alone and I don't want attention on me. Why did resonance pick this alien for me? Like, why? So that's this one. But yeah, the amnesia part is interesting because she is really sad, like so sad that she cannot remember her life. And lastly, I have Bad Guy by Ruby Dixon. This isn't what it normally looks like. This is the special edition. I think Renegade Romance did this one. This book starts out so funny with these two characters meeting. Krulden is our alien hero we see on the cover. He has been taken by these people and is chained up in this cell, right? He's a notoriously known gladiator fighter, and these people want him to fight again, and he's being temperamental with the people who are taking care of him. And there's one day he literally rips up everything in his cell. He like rips the sink out of the wall, rips the bed sheets apart, like it is a mess in there. So then you have our heroine, Mina. She is a human slave wherever they're living right now, and her job is to clean the cells that the gladiator kidnapped people are in. Basically, Krulden has these cuffs on his ankles and his wrists that magnetize to the wall. So he's like up against the wall, stuck to the wall, and little Mina comes in and cleans up the cell and everything, and he's like entranced by her. And she basically leaves and is like, hey dude, I really don't want to clean this mess up again. Please do not. And she's like this tiny little teeny tiny woman, and he's this giant bulking scary alien. And so guess what he does? He decides to rip apart his cell like every single day so he can see Mina. So that's this one. But Krulden has no memories whatsoever of his gladiator life or like what happened before he was in this cell that he was in. And there's a lot going into that, so I'll leave it at that. But anyways, there you have it. Those are some amnesia romance recommendations. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books or if you plan to. And if you don't feel like commenting anything else, you can leave me a corn, I think that's emoji, corn emoji, because she's obsessed with this corn toy. Go get it. But anyways, yeah, leave a corn emoji down below. Also leave below your amnesia recs. I'm always wanting more in my life. Anyways, say bye-bye, Winnie. Say bye-bye. Boop. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I will see y'all soon in my next one. Bye, y'all. Say bye.